Well, for more on this story, Graham Ong-Webb is a research fellow at the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies in Singapore. He joins us now live. Hello to you, Graham. I have to ask, what do you make of North Korea's failed missile test? And essentially, what message does it send to the U.S., China, and other East Asian players?
Well, the botched missile test indicates clearly that the North Koreans still haven't gotten their developmental program right. There are more misses than hits, so to speak. So they're far from being extremely competent enough to create a credible threat against regional allies. But nevertheless, it is a sign of defiance. The North Koreans are clearly adamant about proceeding with their saber rattling, and they are not letting up.
You say certainly defiance, but does that diffuse in any way what's already been a tense situation?
No, certainly not. It's not helping the situation at all. The North Koreans are pressing forward, and the Americans are also pressing forward. We know that the USS Carl Vinson is likely to be in the area already, having diverted its course from its original destination towards Australia. So things are hotting up, they're getting more tense, and one would hope that things will cool down and everyone would sort of step back over the next few days rather than step forward.
Graham, how do you think China will react to this post Xi's visit? Is there still a lot of trade between China and North Korea?
Well, the Chinese are very concerned about these developments. We know that the Chinese government has mobilized up to 150,000 troops, Chinese troops close to the North Korean-Chinese border, just to cater to the contingency where something does happen, something does erupt, and troops have to step in to prevent some sort of exodus if push comes to shove and a military conflict ensues. But the Chinese are watching this very carefully. They're hoping that everyone's going to step back from the brink and that we can turn to other more non-offensive, coercive levers, if you like, to try and get the North Koreans to change their behavior.
After the U.S. airstrike on Syria, do you think that North Korea is going to be a little bit more wary of the United States in all of this?
Certainly. The strikes against Syria just a week ago were intended to convey to the North Koreans that the Americans are committed to dealing with this in a very firm, very coercive manner, because the North Koreans have refused to cooperate and to step back from their nuclear program, to freeze it entirely. And the USS Carl Vinson and the carrier strike group that's in the vicinity also has within its arsenal the same kinds of missiles, Tomahawk missiles, that were used against Syria. So the Trump administration is telling the North Korean government that they will certainly come to use their offensive strike capability to cripple North Korea's nuclear program if required.
Graham, thank you so much for that assessment. Appreciate it from Singapore.